Greatness. Whoa. All my life I hustle just to get that moolah.
Guys, TichaenaC here, and we're back with another video. Today's video is going to be about how I passed my G1 written test. And a bit of tips and tricks on how I passed, and obviously my experience. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. Okay, so my first tip that I have for you guys is to study, 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 study. I cannot stress enough how important it is to study, either if it's with your driving test, even if it's with your math test, your science test, any kind of test that you ever have in your whole entire life. Study for it, okay? It will help you. The ways that you can study for the G1 written test, you can either study online. There is a free practice test online, and it's basically the same thing you'll see on the test that the day you go in. They're just about like, you can do like 100 questions, and they're all true or false. So the test is all true or false. There's not long answers or long short questions. They're all true or false answers. The next way that you can also study is from the driver's manual handbook. I believe you can order it online. If not, then you can go to your nearest test center and buy it there. But I also want to talk about what kind of things that will be on the test, such as, so some things that will be on the test will be how to do your seat belts, traffic lights, and signs, emergency vehicles, how to use your headlights, speed limits, getting off and on the freeway, what drivers might do when they meet streetcars and school buses, driver's license suspension, passing other vehicles, and basically just the road signs and the road rules. And they will also be asking you questions about certain levels, like certain levels of your G1, because you know you have your G1, your G2, and then you have your full G license. So the second tip that I want to give you is to have a nice healthy breakfast on the day you go and take your G1 test. It's really important that you don't go there hungry or tired. The next tip I can give you is to arrive there early. So if the test center opens at 8 o'clock, you be there at 8:55. Like, because I'm telling you, like, if you don't arrive there early, you are going to be very, very upset when you see the line. Okay? That's all I have to say. And my last tip for you is to study again once you do arrive at to take your G1 test, because you will be sitting down there waiting for your number to be called, and you're going to have lots of free time on your hands, so might as well pick up your book, study, go on your app, do the practice test on there. I know I've done it, and it helped me out a lot. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about my experience. So the day I went to do my G1 test, it was like in July, so like last month. I had my license for like a couple of weeks now, and so the day I went, I obviously went like 9 in the morning or whatever, and it was like really close by. I was like at Downview, and so I went to the Service Ontario, and I was waiting in line for them for me to get served. And I'm like, okay, so can I do my G1 written test? The lady tells me, oh, you're in the wrong place. What? So I end up going to the wrong place on my first day taking the G1 test, like silly me. Well, she was just she just told me that it was like down the street. It was like 5-10 minutes. So I'm like, okay, let me go to the right place. So obviously I had my GPS, had the address punched in, and I was trying to find it, and I could not find it anywhere until I saw a kid that was right in front of me, and it looked like we were going to the same place. So I just ended up following the kid, and turns out that he wasn't going to the same place that I was, but I still ended up finding the test center. So I go into the test center, and honestly, it was full of people like you cannot understand it was like big enough to hold like a gymnasium, and it was like, I can't stress enough. So I went to the ACE center, the ACE information, and I just told the person that was there that, oh, I'm here to do my G1 written test, and she's like, okay, sure. And my number was A136. So with that number, they just give you a number, so when your number gets called, you're able to go up and do your test and get your eyes checked or whatever. So that was my number, and they called my number. I went up. The first thing that they will do was they will ask for your ID, like your passport or your health card, and then they'll have you sign some papers. Once you finish that, they'll have you take your visual test, your eye check. And so what that basically is, they will just check your eyes, you know, which light is on this side, which light is on this side. After the visual test, they will end up taking your picture. And honestly, be sure that you get a nice picture, because this is what I have to do with. This is my picture, and I look like a hippopotamus cross-eyed, okay? Like, it's not even funny. But after they take your picture, you get to go into a test room. You give the guy your information, and you just wait for them to call you up to take your test. And I was able to take my test on the computer, and with that, they give you have 20 questions for the road test and 20 questions for your road signs. So then I went and I was checking it, and you need at least 16 right or higher, or 16 or perfect to pass the test. And on the first one, I did the road signs. No, I did the road rules, and I failed the road rules, but I passed the road signs, and I ended up having to take my whole test over again. And when you do take your test, you do have to pay a fee. So I had to pay my fee again, but I ended up so I ended up going to the test center, taking my first test, and then failing, and then staying there and taking my second test and end up passing. I was there from 9 to like around probably like 4-ish, and the place closes at 5. So I was like there for like a long period of time, and I failed once and I passed the second time, and I ended up getting my G1 test. So thank you guys. So this is the last part. This will be the end of my video. I hope this tips helped you. And if it did, just please give this video a like, and also subscribe to my channel for more content with my vlogs and my Let's Play. And I'll see you all next time. Bye guys.
Whoa, greatness, whoa. All my life I hustle just to get that moolah and stack my change up.